Hey fellow gamers, Saus here. As the community manager for Star Citizen and our organization, the 666th Devil Dogs, I've been asked a lot of questions about this game. How to get involved, what's the pledging all about, what ships are available, what's the best ship, what's the economy going to be like, weapon systems, things of that nature, arena commander, etc. I decided to start making a series of comprehensive guides on different aspects of this game and ships involved. I figured what better way to start it off with the F7C-M Super Hornet. Now remember that a lot of things are subject to change in this game, so as we see it right now, let's just go ahead and talk about things. So this is the F7C-M Super Hornet. It is primary focus as a space superiority fighter. A lot of players will say that in Arena Commander right now, the Super Hornet is the dominant fighter, though I have seen a lot of people doing very well in Vandal Swarms and co-ops and Battle Royales using 300 series fighters as well as the Avenger, even some Mustangs, and there's a lot of great videos out there about Auroras, so to each his own. This is a large craft. It's larger than the other series of Hornets. I'm in third person here, so to give you kind of perspective as to how large this ship is. First thing that sets this thing apart from the rest of the Hornets is it has two seats. You're going to have a pilot and you're going to have a gunner. That gunner's primary responsibility is going to be that ball turret there. Kind of hoping, that ball turret gunner is also going to have other responsibilities like maybe radar operator, communications, or some sort of electronics or navigation to kind of, bring further playability to the multiplayer role of this ship. The pilot currently will operate these gimbal-mounted weapons right here, which we'll talk about, as well as these canard-mounted weapons. The ship also does fire missiles, which are pretty tanky right now, as we all know in Star Citizen Arena Commander. A lot of people getting upset with missile kills and such. So, looking at this ship, it's big. It's about 24 meters long, approximate. Its mass is 23 plus kilograms. It has 0 freight units, so something to keep in mind if this is going to be one of your ships that you're going to use in the PU or persistent universe, that you will not be able to carry any cargo in the ship. Though there has been rumor, there has been talk over the last year or so that you'll have some sort of lockdown feature that you can maybe bounty hunt and capture somebody and put them in the back seat, whatever. Remember, this is very early access, so we don't really know how this game is going to work out yet. So all just food for thought kind of thing. Let's run over to the holo table, and I'll break down the classes and the hard points, and we'll do an overview of all the weapons. Alrighty, here we are at the holo table with our spinning Super Hornet. You'll see that it has quite a few weapon mounts on it. A significantly more amount of weapons than your average fighter or average ship of its size, because again, it is all about space superiority. As we rotate around here, we'll break down these weapon classes. So first, on the wings here, these are Class 2 weapons, which means Class 2 mounts. Class 2 refers to the fact that they're gimbal mounted. I'll give you a little demonstration of gimbals versus Class 1s later on in this video. A Class 1 would be a straight ahead, point the nose of the ship in the direction of your enemy and fire your weapons, versus Class 2 gives you a little bit of range and gives you a little bit of more flexibility and ease of aim. The Super Hornet comes stock on the Class 2 wing mounts with a M4A laser. That's a size 2. But if you'll notice that the port slot, the compatibility sizes, is 1 to 3. So you can put a pretty decent size weapon on this gimbal mount there. Moving on down to the canard. The canard here is a Class 4 weapon, which means it's an unmanned turret. On that Class 4, you're going to get a size 1 to 3. Again, a significant size weapon you can plug right into there. And again, just like the gimbals, gives you a decent range of aiming, a little bit more flexibility there. The stock is the CF07 Bulldog repeater, which is the size 1 class of repeaters. There's 3 basic sizes of repeaters, the Bulldog being the first one. The next size up in repeaters would be on the ball turret here. The ball turret houses, or stock that is, the Badger, which is the size 2 repeater. You'll note that this turret holds up to a size 4 weapon on its class 3 or class 4 point. Again, class 4, this is going to be the weapon primarily aimed by the second person, the second gunner. Though when you're playing an Arena Commander right now, since we don't have multiplayer, multi-crew ships yet, the pilot will operate that as if it's a gimbaled mount as well. Moving on down here, you find the Talon Dominator FF Quad. So this is the missile rack. It's a class 3. So class 1 would be your non-gimbaled straight ahead firing weapon system. Class 2 would be your gimbaled, which gives you maybe 15 degrees difference in either direction. The class 3 are your missile systems. Class 4 would be your turrets, whether they be manned or unmanned, which gives you more range than your class 2 does. This is the Talon Dominator FF, like I said. It's got 2 racks of 4, giving this Hornet 8 missiles. The Dominator FF is an infrared lock-on system, so which means it's going to lock on using heat signatures. It's going to be defeated by launching flares. You're only going to have 4 right now. Later on in the game, missiles become their own economy, so you're going to have to purchase these in game. But right now in Arena Commander, they get replenished pretty much after every boss. Moving on down through here, let's take a look at the power system and take a look at the shield system. Jumping right up to the shields. You'll note that there's not a lot of information on the shields right now. We don't really know what the invincible quad shield is. The information is missing. What is important to note, though, that this will take a compatible size of 2 to 4. Voyager Direct now has a bunch of shields available for them, so the Hornet will fit quite a significant different amount of shields on there, which gives it a little bit of flexibility, gives it your ability to personalize it as well. The thrusters, it's a good size thruster. It's a size 3 hammer propulsion HM 4.3 thruster. If it's speed, it's what you're after, that's what they want. This is what you want. But the Super Hornet's quite heavy, so it's going to slide around turns. You're going to have to use your boost a lot to get yourself moving back in a straight line. The Hornet by far and away is not the ship you want to be racing with. It's not the ship that you're going to be outmaneuvering other ships with. It's the ship that you're going to plug right into the middle of the fight, and you're going to be spinning around like a turret in space. One last thing that's not being shown on here is the fact that it has a jump engine on it. It has a leaper jump engine on it. Again, without enough information, we can't really talk about that. We'll get more information later on. So that's the basic hollow table. Alright, so what a lot of people have been doing in Arena Commander is they've been swapping out weapons. Primarily, they've been swapping out weapons, this Class 2 M4A laser. The common loadout is typically to take that out and to throw in a repeater. Throw in another Bulldog or another Badger, or even if you pick up the Class 3 Panther to put there. The rationalization for that is that these M4 lasers here have a different pip system, have a different lead on them. When we get into Arena Commander, you'll see the boxes, the pips. And there's going to be 2 pips if I leave this as stock. 1 pip system, 1 lead system for these M4s, and then 1 lead system for both different types of Bulldogs and Badgers. It's kind of a little bit easier, if you're only aiming all 6 weapons at one point at the same time. You get a little bit more damage done at the same time. So I'll try to give you a little demonstration of that next.
All systems online.
Alright, here we are in Vandal Swarm. So you're going to hear me throughout this episode part here talking to my computer. I'm utilizing a software called Voice Attack. If you're not familiar, check it out, www.voiceattack.com. They're not paying me or anything, but I'm going to tell you that it's the best $8 I've ever spent in gaming. So I can attach verbal commands to macro and micro functions in the game. So when I tell Hazel here, my computer, to go into combat mode, you'll see that my controls or my power systems have been set to weapons and shields. Then when I tell Hazel that I need to targeting, she's already targeted for me the closest enemy. So right there, there's my pip system. You see that's that little box dangling behind the plus sign. And I'm moving in on this Vandal Scavenger, and then you'll see on occasion there's two boxes. There's a circle with a line through it and a box with a line through it. That is the two different weapons. So the circle with a line through it would be the pip or lead system for the M4A lasers, whereas the square is going to be the 4 repeaters that I have, the 2 on the canard and the 2 on the ball turret. So let's roll in here and let's help out our AI counterparts. I've got one on me. I'll throttle back and we'll just light this guy up here real quick. Don't want to get in the collision, so I peeled away a little bit at the last minute. Using a pulse system because we don't want to overheat, and then we'll move on to our next one, which it automatically targets and locks onto the next one there. I can say target next, and it'll pick up my next target. I've got it bound for friendlies to say ID, and there's Vixen, ID, and there's Warlord, and then I can track Warlord. If I'm worried about keeping an eye on him and I want to bail him out when he's in trouble, I can say track.
Target.
And now Warlord's pinned to my computer. Alright, so
targeting.
Sometimes if I'm talking in long sentences, Hazel doesn't pick up on what I'm saying. So I'm going to give you first, there's the M4A lasers, and then the red ones are going to be the repeaters. So let's pull up on this Vandal Swarm, Vandal Scavenger, and light him up. And see, he went down fairly easily. And let's shoot some missiles at this last guy. Let's go lock on. I'm going to give you the guys the full 9 yards. Let him take off for a little bit, throttled all the way down. And firing, and he's going to go down on the house of cards. There he goes. Alright, so you'll see the top speed for this Hornet is 200 whatever, 200 ms, meters a second, if I guess that's what we're going to do. I'll try to put it into some high G maneuver turns, and you'll see that that square with the arrow that's lined up with my crosshairs, that circle with the arrow that's lined up with my crosshairs is the direction the ship's traveling in, where the crosshairs is the direction I'm pointing. So if I do some sort of extreme maneuver, I am not moving in this direction yet until that guy comes right back up to the square, and now I'm moving that direction. So the way you kind of got to work this Hornet is if you're going to make some sort of extreme move like this, you want to boost and you bring that guy right up real fast, and you're going to be moving that direction. So let's get a baddie.
Targeting.
And there's our system finding him for us, and then we're going to boost and get us up into that direction. And let's roll up on, let's go for this guy over here. Let's get the back of the pack first. Let's work our way through. We'll begin the lock on here in a second. Oh wait, no, I'm out of missiles. Can't lock on. Let's move on this guy, and you'll see that I've got one weapon system showing, and I'm just going to pulse at him. There's the other one. So it's important to note right now that I'm using a HOTAS, okay? So that means hands on throttle and stick. I do not have the capabilities of really using my gimbal mount system right now, because basically in order to fire my weapons, I need to point the ship in the direction that I'm shooting it. So everything is going to operate pretty much as a class 1 weapon. So now if I switch over to mouse and keyboard, you'll see that I've got this extra reticle right here, and that means that I've got gimbal mounts, and those are my turrets as well. You'll notice that I can aim quite a ways away from the direction my ship is traveling in. So let's go ahead and engage this guy, and let's open up on him. And once we get over there, we got a little ways to go. But we're going to open up on him, and we're going to use this gimbal mount system. You'll see that although I'm not that good with the gimbals, because I typically fly with the HOTAS, you'll note that it's much easier to lock on and control your targeting with the gimbal mount system. And just like that, he goes down. So that's the difference between gimbal mounts, okay, right there, and going back to my HOTAS. Okay, I hope that helps, and let's jump back into the hangar. Alright, here we are back in the hangar. You know, looking at this Super Hornet, I can't help but think that it reminds me of like an F-14 Tomcat, like straight out of Top Gun or something like that, with its 2 seats and such. Last couple little nuggets here. You can get into the cockpit into the flight seat by using this side, and then you can actually get into the back seat of the Hornet using this switch right here. When I get in here, though, I am not going to be able to get back out due to a glitch. I'm actually going to have to restart the system to do that. So this is a basic overview of the Hornet, the Super Hornet, that is. I hope this helps. Feel free to ask any questions in the comments below. Yes, you want to subscribe to this channel, and I will also leave directions to join the Devil Dogs. Meet us up in the verse in Star Citizen, and I will see you guys in the next video. Eater.